The cat in a dog's world meme coin, the Mew token, almost doubled today in a market that's pretty much silent.
An incredible and absolutely insane project that I recently came across. It's called Mew or MewsWorld.
This is the rally I'm talking about. We're up 85% today alone.
For too long, dogs have ruled the world, and now it's time for cats.
All right, everybody. Welcome back to the 99B podcast. Today we have with us a representative for the Mew project, or Cat in a Dog's World, AlleyCat. And Cat in a Dog's World has probably become the biggest meme project of the year, or one of them, and is on the precipice of breaking through the 100 top cryptocurrencies by market cap. So, AlleyCat, thanks for joining us.
What an incredibly complimentary intro that was. Wow, I had no idea you had that script.
Oh my God. Yeah, of course. I mean, you guys have been an awesome project. And I think there's been, no shortage of people giving you guys your flowers, and deservedly so, I would say.
I think, we're just trying to do a good job.
Yeah, and that's all we really could do. So I do want, before we jumped on this podcast, we were talking a little bit before, the producer for this show, he's like kind of a half in, half out crypto guy, and he was confused about anonymity in crypto. And I kind of explained to him, oh no, that's actually how crypto was pretty much started, with Bitcoin and with a lot of other cryptocurrencies. So could you explain, for people that aren't too familiar with, why you would want to be anonymous, why the project's been anonymous, why that is such a strong, why that's something you guys, believe in?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think that, and by the way, I want to address the fact that I have a cold to all of us before I get into this. But I think that, first of all, there's something to be said for precedent. And, there's a reason why precedent is set. And that is because, unfortunately, there are a lot of, we could say, bad actors, or I wouldn't even say bad actors. I would say people who are looking for something who isn't there, maybe. And the idea that you could be like searched and looked into, and investors want all the info that they can get, right? And
Yes.
probably rightfully so, but at the same time, they can misinterpret things, and they can look for things that don't have relevance. They can look for things that, are interpreted as a way that are either negative or positive, by the way, that are just simply not correct. And I think that it's really important to keep the focus on the project, and that's something that people should really be looking at. And I understand that it's an emotional thing, and people put their money into stuff, but the idea is the project is what is most paramount, and not who's behind it, not who's working on it, and whether it be like their relevance to the project. Like, some people just get hired to do a little bit of work on a project. Some people are founders. And so I think that it's really important to make that stand out and say that doesn't matter. And what matters is what you see in regards to the work that's being done.
Yes. Wow. Yeah, well put. Do you think, though, that when I was explaining this to the producer, he's like, I don't really get it, what I'm trying to say, but I told him, crypto people in general can, since we're so internet dwellers, they're trying to find every bit of information, like you said. But you think that's even more, germane to the meme crypto space? Like, is the meme crypto space have different people than just general?
Well, yeah, he just doesn't understand how insane they are. And I think that for whatever reason, we can talk about why that is, but it is. And I get it too. Like, I've invested in stuff, and you have this innate desire to write in the Telegram chat, like, why is the price down? Why is this? Or whatever. Like, let me look up this guy's LinkedIn. Let me do blah blah blah. But
Yeah.
for whatever reason, we seem to attract a multitude of that group of people.
Mm,
And I just think that that can be a benefit too. We like eccentricity.
yep.
But it just is, there is a segment of people that for whatever reason, and maybe it's the fact that memes are kind of based in 4chan culture, internet
Hmm.
culture, a group of people that, as we know, if you are a part of crypto Twitter, which if you're listening to this, you probably are, uh, that are not the same segment as like the rest of society. And so that's just what you're going to get, and that's baked in.
Yeah, no, I couldn't agree more. And at this point, 4chan is, I mean, Twitter sort of make 4chan seem tame. I go on Twitter and I'm like, oh my God,
Dude, I don't,
this
yeah,
seems worse than 4chan at this point.
I am very concerned about a lot of what I see on Twitter these days.
Yeah, it's funny how I feel like that culture has like gone everywhere. So now Reddit's
Yeah,
like that,
it
Twitter's
really
like
has,
that.
which is you know, there's an element of that is important to what we're doing though,
Yeah.
because I mean, look at anything that's being launched any day. It's like that is, like I said, I don't want to use the same term because I try to be eloquent, but it's baked in where it's like you see these tokens get launched and it's just so clear. You're like, oh, this is just 4chan shit, dude. Like
Yeah. Yeah.
this is literally the same culture.
Hmm. So before we jumped on, you were telling me you've been in crypto since 2013, which is crazy, over 10 years at this point. Which I feel like in this sense, this industry is so wild, it ages you quicker. So people have only been in for 5 years, like myself, you learn quickly. But seeing the types of meme coins that have come and go, um, how did you guys, or how do you think, cat and a dog's world fit in with, most of the things were inspired from memes from 4chan or their Pepe or Doge. I mean, Doge a little bit, but what do you think? What have you noticed trend wise about meme culture, about, about how a meme project like this kind of came about?
Well, let me be clear. I've had the privilege of fumbling more bags than you can ever imagine. So being in crypto since 2013 is not what everyone thinks it would be. Uh,
Hmm.
but I think this is actually something I'm really passionate about. It bothers me to no end that people think a meme, in quotes, meme token needs to be a meme. We can look at Floki,
Mm.
we can look at Shiba, we can look
Yeah.
at these memes that, okay, yeah, it's subjective for me to say like they're not quote funny or whatever. But I think what's most most important is the potential of intellectual property and
Mm.
is like just the the overall ceiling of what's being purported. I don't think that's the right word, but
It sounds right.
yeah, exactly. If it sounds right, we're good. But I think that sure, there are memes that are very funny, and there are tokens that are based on those memes, and that's great, but it's not a necessity for
Mm.
what is going on. And I think actually, in a way, it can be a shortcoming. And I don't want to speak poorly or badly about any other project or anything like that. But you become pigeonholed if you are, quote, just that meme.
That's a
And
good point.
something like Mew is really uh interesting in that anything can happen, right? Like this is a project where whether it's animation, whether it's products, all these different things are a possibility. There's no like intellectual property issue, anything like that.
Hmm.
So for people to look at it so simplistically and say like, oh, well, it's not like a quote meme. It's like, okay, yeah, well, Shiba is like, what was it, like the number 6 token by market cap? Like, have you ever
Hmm.
seen a
Yeah.
Shiba meme that's like, I can't, I'm laughing so hard. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
so the place importance on that, I think, is very misguided. And again, I don't mean that in a negative way about anything else. It's, any other project that people are working very hard on. But, the reality is that's not very important. And, you need to look at the potential of a project.
Yeah.
And at least in my opinion, as someone who's been in crypto since 2013, by the way, uh, this is a very, the potential is incredibly high.
Yeah, that's such an interesting way to explain it. And really the whole meme culture phenomenon has been pretty interesting to me. I think especially if I wrote an article, and I'm curious what you think about this, about Cardano, and I suggested that the Cardano community should welcome memes and say, hey, memes are not that bad. They're a way to grow culture, they're a way to grow our kind of at least get attention to our project. And I got so much flack on the article. Guys from the Cardano community were like, "Oh, we don't need memes. Memes are worthless, and they're basically, short hype cycles." So, I mean, do you see is maybe we can even like tie this into Solana a little bit? Do you see memes as something that, does it pump and dump a coin, or does it give a coin staying power?
Well, first of all, I'm so shocked people attacked you for an opinion in crypto. Uh, I think that there's an importance to interest. Like there just is. You
Hmm.
know, shit, I can't remember who said it, but there was once a good quote I heard where they said, why did the robber rob a bank? And he said, because that's where the money was. And it's
Hmm.
like the reality is, if that's where the interest is, if that's where the liquidity is, if that's where the capital is, then I don't personally think that it can be uh at least, harmful to an extent that people should be concerned.
Hmm.
I also, again, since I've been doing this for a very long time, like there's been meme coins for, in quotes, forever, but for a very long time. And it's not something that to me should like raise a red flag. It's not something that to me a community should be like wildly against.
Hmm.
Uh, because the reality is, you know, whether it's GameStop or whatever, there is an element of a human being just sees opportunity and
Yeah.
isn't like, that concerned beyond that. And so if people think that maybe they can make some money or that it's cool or that it's fun, I don't think that there's anything wrong with that. And believe me, I've had to defend that fact many times when I meet people and they're like, what do you do for your hobbies or, or whatever? And I say I make meme coins or I help with coins or,
Yeah.
you know, uh, any meme coin I've made has not done great, by the way. But, it's like, it's just fun, and to me, there's nothing wrong with fun. Uh, you know,
Yeah.
I think also there's an element of like, yeah, don't put your life savings into something,
Hmm.
because you're probably setting yourself up to be a critic of your article if you do that.
Hmm.
But in regards to if people's behavior is responsible, there's nothing wrong with the concept of a meme.
Yeah, and it really is, even talking back to something you said earlier, is that there really is almost being able to invest in something that you enjoy the art design of, or I'm thinking, for some reason my mind went straight to Samurai Jack or something like that. It's like you had all these cool, cartoons or cool cultural moments, and we kind of just watched them and kind of kind of just, I guess, witness them, but weren't able to participate at all in them. And so I'm kind of thinking that when as this keeps growing, maybe we could have something like that, especially with your animated partnership. But now I'm curious, how did you get into memes? Because I think for a lot of crypto investors, you do have a moment where you're strict crypto, you're strict Bitcoin, you're strict Ethereum, you're strict whatever. Then maybe you branch out into altcoins, and then eventually you get to the point you said before of all right, I'll have, maybe I'll have some meme coins on the side, and then maybe meme coins becomes your life. So how did you get into memes?
Well, I think again, there's a difficulty in regards to ignoring what's going on with the meme coin scene. And if you want to be like an investor or want to be a part of an ecosystem or anything like that, and you're ignoring meme coins, you have to very much intentionally ignore a meme coin. Or rather,
It's
like
true.
all of the market cap that is going into it. And so obviously, like that's something that is going to pique anyone's interest. And I also think that there's maybe a little bit of exhaustion in regards to uh, people talking about utility. Uh,
Mm,
there are so many projects that will explain to you again and again how useful they are. And that's great, but then you buy into it and you're like, okay, yeah, but if it's so useful, what the fuck is going on? Like,
yeah,
why isn't this doing well?
yeah,
And then they see a chart that is going up that is a meme coin. And so it's a no-brainer in that regard, right? Like, of course you're gonna go check out what is happening in this other ecosystem because you've been taught like, okay, this is a problem solver and this is gonna do this and that for society, and you've only lost money. And then you see your friend make, however much on Shiba, and you go, all right, I've had enough of this. Clearly, like utility has does it has importance to be clear, but it's not the end all be all. And I think that you know I saw that. I mean that's the long and short of it. And it's also funny to see, this is this is a weird anecdote, but I happened to realize just a few months ago that I was literally getting my news from meme coin launches. Like
mm,
I I don't want to say what the event was because it's kind of tragic, but it was like I learned what it was from the launch of a meme coin. So there's just an element of wanting to be a part of something that's fun and taking a chance and you know obviously the bigger market cap tokens kind of have their own thing going on, whether it's Cardano or whatever. And so it's very easy to just look at the, hey, what's the new launch, you know?
yeah, yeah. And I mean, memes have become massive in a sense. And we were talking a little bit before this that percentage wise, I think it was over 90% if you invested in meme coins this year. Maybe we'll throw that graph on in front of all this and
Yeah.
superimpose it. But do you think for I mean if you have any insight into this being attached to Mew, do you think with Solana the be as a platform having the most meme tokens, do you think that Solana, begins to outperform Ethereum, or do you think platforms like does memes have, a future of boosting platforms like that? I mean, if Base ever maybe releases their token, which I don't think Coinbase wants to as of now, but do you see, meme tokens playing, a big role going forward in how platforms grow?
Well, I think that there's a lot going on there in regards to like, you know, people like meme tokens and they would get them on Ethereum. But guess what? When shit is hitting the fan, it costs a
Mhm.
lot of money to fucking trade them.
It does.
And it's just the way it goes, you know. And people will take the path of least resistance. And I've certainly been a victim of that and couldn't believe the gas fees. And so to me, it's a natural way of things kind of developing because people like in our discussion today, we've already established that people want meme tokens, right? Okay,
Yeah, for
so
sure.
if you want meme tokens and you have one network that is it's going to cost $75 to make a trade, and then you have one network that it's going to cost 10 cents, like of course you're going to go with the one that's 10 cents, right?
Yeah.
And so I'm not sure if necessarily meme tokens are the cause, but I know that they exist and that they are popular, and that if you provide a venue for people to trade them or create them, uh, that is better, that's what people will do.
Yeah, yeah, it does seem that way. I noticed for me, I think I started off of Ethereum in 2019, and then as I started working, getting paid in crypto as a journalist, people were like, "I don't want to pay you in ETH because it's too much money." And I've heard people go as far as to say that ETH is now a more of an academic blockchain. And there's no shade here because we love Ethereum here at 99
No, of
Bitcoins,
course, it's
but
just there's definitely exhaustion in regards to being told that that issue is going to be fixed. Uh,
yes, for
and
sure.
I think people have believed that and waited for it and have continued to wait for it. And so it's like, all right, man, maybe
I
we
heard
just,
before.
yeah, maybe
It's
we
like a
just heard
political
somewhere
promise.
else.
Yeah.
Exactly. So like, I don't think people are necessarily like against Ethereum. Like, hey, if they
No,
fix it, maybe people will come back. And obviously there's a ton of, you know, liquidity on there and capital.
of
Uh,
course.
and it's never going to be like a death knell, I don't think, or anything like that. But there's going to be a segment of people who just can't tolerate that, especially as it goes up. Like I said, when like shit is hitting the fan, things plummet or they go way up. It's like, okay, I wanted to take advantage of this volatility, and yet I'm unable to now because to make a single trade is costing $175. So,
Yeah, which you can ignore if you're doing well in crypto, but in terms of a
yeah,
bear market or really if you're doing well, you just start to say, why am I
no,
paying all
well,
this
yeah, I
money?
think that there's a mentality of like, I can't, no matter how much like money I have, like that's
Yeah.
crazy to do that.
Yeah, you would
Um,
never do that in
yeah,
the
and
real
then it
world in
fails, by
TradFi.
the way, and then it fails. And you have to do it again. So.
Oh God. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
if only I didn't have a ton of personal anecdotes about that.
yeah, I think we all can share the same sentiment.
Yeah.
Here's a good question for I think for meme traders. I wrote this one exactly down in my little mini notebook here because I want to get this right in your reaction to it.
Yeah.
Quote, the truth about meme coins is by the time you hear about them, it's way too late. End quote. Do you agree with that, or what do you think about that?
I think that depends. I think that there is a lot of truth to that statement, frankly.
Mhm.
If I'm going to be totally candid. But I think that if you're able to identify again, if we go back to what I was saying about potential, you can ride a wave of overall macro sentiment uh, in regards to something being really, really successful. And yeah, maybe if something like 10,000x or whatever, in a bear market, that's not something that you should buy, right? But I think that if you see something like Mew, frankly, uh, that has a ceiling that's incredibly high, and you can get in early in regards to like clearly the team is doing a lot. And to be clear,
Yeah.
because maybe we haven't talked about Mew that much, but
Yeah, I'm playing. We're gonna get into it.
yeah, okay, absolutely. I just want to be clear, like there is a level of work being done on this project that I have rarely seen
Hmm.
ever being done in crypto. Um, the listeners know how long I've been in crypto by now. But it's like it's like, you know, maybe we place a ton of importance on macro and what that's going to look like when, we've all been in chats where it's like normies are going to buy this or whatever. But there is something to be said for the fact that like building something of this potential before people are really interested in crypto can really benefit you. Well, you or whoever. But the point is, I think there's just something to be said for work ethic. And
Mm,
there's definitely a lot going on with this project that I just frankly can't even believe. And I'm insanely impressed by. And I wouldn't even care if anything like I would say what matters is a project that is going to do really special stuff. And whether it's the Logos animation, whether it's like products, like it's very infrequent that I've seen a project where I would say like I want a shirt that has that
yeah.
logo on,
I mean, there's
and
some fresh shoes that you guys have as well.
yeah, yeah, exactly. And so that's just, I don't want to come off as like a super hard shill, but like the reality is I just have infrequently seen a team do so much with uh a piece of intellectual property that I think has a ton of potential.
What element for Cat in a Dog's World, which is quite literally a perfect name because all the meme tokens are dogs, and I think the story for Mew is actually really compelling too. How it's a comic strip of this cat character against all these dog meme coins. Whoever came up with that deserves a raise. But what single element do you think made Mew into this, phenomena where people, it exploded, and it's, something that pretty much all meme traders, have their eyes on at this point.
I think like we talked about, it's not there's no level of singularity to it. Uh, there's just a lot that can be done with it. And I think that it's also very fun. Sure, maybe it's not like, and listen, I don't want to get into any of the beef or whatever with other cat tokens, but it's like there is just a level of malleability. I think is a good way of putting it. And in regards to um, anything can be done with it, and
Sure.
people really like the design, and it just went from there. And I think also people saw the potential that we described earlier in regards to what this can be. They probably also saw the fact that the team is doing a very good job. And there's a lot of things that in that regard are unique because I don't know how many meme coin telegrams you're in, but
Hmm.
sometimes you join them and you're not very impressed. And so I think that there's an element in that regard that people, having confidence instilled is very powerful. And I
Yeah.
think that was very clear.
Yeah, telegrams can turn into a jungle very quickly. It's
Yeah,
not, they're usually
or a dead zone.
or a dead zone. Yeah, that's a great point. Are there beefs between the meme communities? Like I mean, we can kind of see them from afar. I'm a little bit involved in memes, but not, to definitely not to your extent or a lot of some people I know even on our 99 Bitcoin team, they're extremely into memes. But is it beefs between teams or is it mostly beefs between communities?
Well, I think again, what's important is the project itself, and I think that uh if we're talking about just like human behavior, like of course if you are invested in one project and you see another project doing well, you're motivated to not be thrilled.
Sure.
But no, I would say that uh the emphasis in regards to at least the moderating team is just to promote Mew as much as possible and the potential that it has.
Got it. And can you talk a little bit just about the Locust partnership? Which is for anybody that doesn't know, it's an animation studio that you guys have partnered with. And where does that end up going? Is this like new uncharted territory for meme coin? Is the Mew team the first to be doing something like this?
Yeah, well, again, to be clear, I am just a Telegram mod.
Hmm.
Uh, and so it's obviously something that's incredibly exciting. It's something that is the reason I'm so thrilled about being a part of the Telegram moderator team. And I'm not, I think the how vague it is, at least to me, is like why I'm so excited about it. Because
Hmm.
obviously it shows, well, it conveys a few things. It conveys the fact that there's a competent team behind the project. It conveys that something really awesome is coming. And it also just shows like a level of quality that people who love Mew are going to be able to enjoy. And so, of course, I would love to give you any sort of behind the scenes thing, but unfortunately, I don't have that. And it's just that's one of the things I saw where I said, "Oh shit," you know. I was like, this is they're not fucking around.
Yeah. Yeah. No, it does seem that way, but I hope if the movie does come, you roll out the red carpet for us of the 99p.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
We want popcorn, candy, we want everything.
Well, that speaks to again what you were saying about is a meme coin like is it too late or whatever. Well, now we're talking about reasons why uh you know you want to be there before stuff like that happens.
Yeah. Yeah. So there is an element of truth to that quote because yeah, there is when things there even a project even a meme project as big as Mew, there's still places to go. There's just when these unexpected twists and turns come.
Well,
Only
it's like
oh
it's like you a lot of people will be like, "Oh, it's too late, man. Like it
yeah.
already 10x or whatever." Yeah, then the movie comes out and then you're like, "Oh, dude, I fucked up."
Yeah, I still should have got it. I think a lot of people have
Exactly.
that sentiment for Bitcoin too. They
Uh-uh.
say, okay, how can this go any further up?
Yeah,
It's already done so
exactly.
much. So
Exactly.
we don't
So
know. This
you
space
know.
is crazy.
Yep.
Yeah. Only a few more questions left. I am curious what you think about all the Polyfi tokens, like the Trump token, Biden token. Are these meme like almost like a new evolutionary stage of meme coins, or do you kind of put them in the political, narrative side? And do you see, because I think for a while people thought social tokens would be big. it would be okay, we're in our DAO, we're all able to talk. But now it seems like meme coins have kind of superseded that for now. So do you think that is something that we'll continue to see?
I would love to be able to give you a confident answer to this question,
Hmm.
in regards to, at least I have my own convictions and beliefs. Uh, but I think, obviously drawing on other topics we've already tackled, you see something like that, and you just have to wonder the what is the ultimate goal? Like, what's that going to look like in 2 years, 3 years, right? Like,
Yeah.
and they're fun and they're funny for sure. Uh, and so here's my thing is I would be like, yeah, but where's that going to go?
Hmm.
That being said, people ask that about Shiba. People ask that about other tokens that I probably held that belief towards. So I do personally hold that belief that, something like that can only do so much because, you know, can you make an animation out of that? Can you do all of these different things that obviously I've seen in Mew? And I think the answer is no in that regard. Uh, that being said, crypto has a way of proving a lot of people wrong. Uh,
This is
and
true.
so and so personally, no, I don't think that that's uh something that's gonna have like a level of longevity. Uh,
Hmm.
but it is very tough to deny the presence and the waves that things like that are making. And again, even to talk to the fact that I was saying, like, news is being broken on the blockchain is
Yeah.
obviously like a thing. And so I'm very happy to admit that maybe I don't know the answer to that. But I would say that my personal belief is, at least I'm gonna go with something that I see has like a potential and a ceiling that, we don't even know what it is.
Yeah, I really like the way you explained it there, and I never really heard. I might even steal that from you. News being broken on the blockchain because we had GameStop, and then probably only a few more minutes after GameStop blew up, GameStop token, and that blows up.
I
Trump
mean,
comes here,
I
and now we have a Trump token,
literally
and it
I
blows up.
literally found out Navalny passed away uh
Yeah,
from
yeah.
from looking at new pairs.
Oh my God,
Uh
that's so
and
crazy.
it sucked. It sucked. It definitely sucked.
Wow.
But I just had the moment of realization where I said, holy shit, I'm getting my news from Dex Tools.
Yeah, Julian Assange just got, cleared and released yesterday. I mean, I found that out through the news, but I could see if I probably was on Coin Market Cap and I saw what coins were trending, I'm sure I could have seen, oh wow, this is up
Yeah,
however many
it's actually
percent.
wild, dude. It's actually wild.
Yeah, breaking the news is a really interesting term for it, and I wonder how long that continues and if it just keeps continuing, because that would be
It
insane.
is probably the most surreal part of being in this sector.
Yeah, it's truly something cool to watch.
Yeah.
Last couple questions. What advice would you give someone who is, into meme trading, or maybe they're just getting into it? What to look for. I know there's this sector is, Wildcat doesn't even do it justice. It's a truly, a new Wild West experience.
Yeah.
What would you tell someone, to look for, to identify, to know, okay, hey, okay, this actually seems like, obviously you're never gonna get it perfect, but what things would you look for?
I think you need to see an active team. That's
Mm,
that's the biggest thing. It's not going to be a guarantee. Nothing will be in this space. But if you are seeing really sparse activity, or like weird behavior from
hmm.
uh team members in the Telegram or whatever, or like seeing something weird on Twitter, to me that's like a huge red flag. And you also don't want to be misled by the times that that doesn't pan out, because like sometimes you do see that and you miss out on something that does really well.
Mhm.
But regardless, it's an incredibly good guiding principle. And you're just not going to hit 100% of the stuff. Like you're just not going to, like you need to accept that. And
Yeah.
once you do that, you'll do way better. And so if you take these like core principles and you continue to uh use them in practice, then I think personally you will benefit. And that's just something that has guided me frequently. And you know, it's a lot about care. It's a lot about if people are asking or answering questions. It's a lot about if there's spam, is someone doing something about it? Uh,
It's a good
and kind
point.
of all these like different things in that regard. Because pretty clear if that's not happening, uh, a lot of other stuff is not happening. So, again, I don't want to be too, I don't want to try to tell people this is the way to make money or anything like that. But I think that that's a pretty good guiding principle.
Yeah, I think that is because it all is a leap of faith at the end of the day, but you can take as many, make it an educated leap of faith, where you have a lot more, kind of a warm and fuzzy feeling that you're not getting completely, railed pretty much.
Yeah, and to be clear, I will take some time to show Mew, but that was what I saw from this project is that, you join the Telegram. Obviously, we all saw it blow up, and I've seen other things blow up and not see what I've seen from the Mew team. And so that was really impressive to me because obviously when things shoot up to that market cap, there's any level of spammers or scammers or anything like that. And the moderator team or moderation team, I should say, uh, really showed a level of care and activity that was like, okay, yeah, obviously there's a lot of bad shit in terms of like what people are trying to do here. But you also see a level of effort from the team in regards to counteracting that. And that's something I found really, really important.
Mm. Yeah, it's an incredible project, and I think that's a good place to stop is to ask, this last question, where from your perspective of being a Telegram moderator so close to the Mew project, where does it seem it's going next? What do you expect for it? What any insights that you can give us that you have?
Well, to be honest, I think that's the most exciting part because there's any level or any number of answers I would be able to give where you go, okay, could it be animation? Could it be a movie? Could it be, products? Could it be all these different things? And that's what I love about it is that kind of I wouldn't say vague because I think that there's kind of like a negative connotation with that word. But what I would say is like there's this level of what's going to happen next, right? Uh, and I believe in it to that extent. When you join other telegrams, when you join other projects, I think it's very easy to see what the potential would be.
Hmm.
Uh, it's like, what could this possibly ever do? Like, could they make products? Like, could they do an animation? Like, certain projects? The answer is definitely not. And so I love that potential, like, uh, I think that obviously there's an element of like everyone who's in crypto that you want to see like what it's gonna do, right? And this is very much like scratches that itch. And so I am personally very excited to see whether it's, you know, going to be the animation, which certain things obviously have been stated for sure. But there are other things like, you know, who knows what this can be eventually? Like, are we looking at the next Hello Kitty? Are we looking at something that can be that big? And for me, like that is a very fun and enjoyable element of being a part of the community because I think that excitement is a huge part of why we all spend time doing any of this, right? And so I don't know specifically, but I think that that's actually a benefit.
Yeah, the ceiling is extremely high. And I was thinking while you said that no other team, no other meme coin could pretty much do a movie. And I was like, damn, so we're not gonna get a Dogecoin the movie anytime soon. It's like, oh
No
man.
Bowden movie,
Yeah.
no.
I'm
No
thinking
shade
probably
to
10
Bowden.
years.
No shade to Bowden, by the way. Love Bowden. Love
I'm
Bowden.
thinking 10 years from now, probably like the emoji movie after emojis have been out for, for like probably 100 years. They'll be, okay, now we can finally do a Dogecoin the movie. Here we go. And everyone will be like, we
Fair.
don't care about this. We don't want to see this anymore.
Yeah,
So
yeah, exactly.
yeah, but all right, yeah. Thank you so much, Alley Cat. This has been a great time. You have an awesome username. I usually as the part of the program we say this is where to find this person, but I'm sure if anybody wants to find the project, they can go to the Mew Telegram, and they'll be the best way to interact with you. I'm
No
guessing it.
one's ever gotten the reference. No one has
No.
ever gotten the reference that it's the second stage from Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles in Time. Uh, uh,
Darn.
for the
I've
Super
been.
Nintendo. I have been waiting. I have been
uh,
waiting for someone to say that, but at least
darn.
they'll know now. They'll know now.
I'm so mad. I'm so mad. My dad, he was a huge gamer as a kid, and he probably would have. He might have been the only one if he was doing this interview. He'd be the only.
No,
But
I think I'm just the only weirdo who listens to that song a bunch, but
yeah, no, those old school beat 'em ups. But yeah, thank you so much for joining us. And yeah,
absolutely. It
all
was such a
right,
pleasure, and thank you for having me.
no problem. Thanks again.
All right.
Thanks for watching. Here at 99 Bitcoins, we're the #1 hub for crypto education on the internet. So if you like that video, check out some other ones over here. And no more meme coins, we promise.